This one is long overdue. But before we get started, if you're new, please subscribe. If you are not new and you haven't subscribed, please do that now. Like the video, which is the thumbs up button, and hit the bell notification icon so that you're notified when we post. And last but not least, comment, and you may get a shout out at some point.
Yes.
All right, so as you guys know, we had to get helmets for the girls. If you want to know why they got helmets, we have a video that explains all of that. I'll link that in the description. But we are going to tell you what happened to those helmets. So
basically, this is what it looks like if you haven't seen it.
It's just why you can get them in different colors, but this one's got a purple strap on it for JoJo.
So when we got the helmets, the doctor gave us what they call a wean-in schedule. So basically they wear it for, you know, a certain amount of hours during the day and at night leading up to basically like day 5. And then at that point they would be wearing them 23 hours a day. So the first day I guess wasn't too bad because they only wore them for a couple of hours, and so they were fine. As we kind of progressed through that week, we started to see that, you know, they really became very different babies. Like, this is before they started teething and were fussy, and they almost became like unrecognizable babies. They were super unhappy and they wouldn't really move much. They would just literally kind of just hang out and sit there, and the second that we would take it off, they'd either fall asleep because they had been fighting their sleep, or they would start laughing and smiling and just relax.
Yeah.
So we got to the part where they would wear them at night, and the first night we tried, Jordan fell asleep, but she woke up a lot.
It's also because at that point, Jordan wasn't rolling over yet.
Yes.
Alex was the only one that had learned how to do that, so Jordan was able to kind of fall asleep on her back, and it wasn't that big of a deal for her.
Alex, however, the first night, fought and fought, screamed, cried at the top of her lungs. We got to a point where I think by like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, we decided to just take it off because she wasn't going to sleep, and I would say within 10 minutes she had fallen asleep.
Like scream, and it was a very different cry. It wasn't like their typical "I'm hungry" or like this kind of whiny stuff. It was like this, "I'm miserable, please take this off of me." Like, it was the saddest and hardest thing for us to see, and it went on and on. Like, we were like, okay, well, I guess this is part of the process. Let's just keep going, and they're gonna adjust. That's what everybody kept telling us. They're gonna adjust, they're gonna adjust. But it seemed like the more that we did it, the more they hated it. And we kept trying and we kept trying because we thought like, okay, well, maybe we're really close to them.
Quick, so she can grab Grayson.
Maybe they're adjusting still, and maybe we need to give it more time, and maybe we're close, and maybe all kinds of things. Only for us to, I'll wait for Candice for this part. We kept trying as much as we wanted them to wear them because we knew it was for their own good, and everybody kept telling us that they would adjust. We kept going, but I think we just came to a point where, like, Candice and I were in tears just watching them trying to put themselves to sleep, or watch them play and watch them be babies, and they just were not happy. And it sucks because I feel like we didn't have much guidance on this portion of the helmets, so to us it was like the only solution. But I think had we had more people kind of help us along the way, maybe we would have found that we didn't actually need them. But we ended up going down that route. We bought the helmets, and we, at the end of all of this, what was like a month, I don't even remember anymore, but it was about a month of us trying. We decided that we didn't want to go down that route, because if fixing their little flat heads meant that they had to be miserable for possibly 6 months, like we just didn't, it wasn't worth it for us.
Yeah, well, and I think, you know, some people are probably gonna say, well, that's what was recommended and this and that, but so part of the reason that we decided that we just wanted to make the decision not to do it anymore is, one, our pediatrician told us from the beginning that she truly believed that we could fix their heads without helmets. But then you have another person who, you know, you see that says, no, I think they need to have them. So it's kind of this mixed feeling, and there are studies that show that, you know, they do work, and then there are others that don't, that prove that they, you know, there's really nothing to it.
Try putting her here.
I don't know that she'll sit there, but here, mama, here, mama, here, mama.
Where's the gray teething ring? She likes that one.
We have, you know, different opinions from people, and I think about like what would have made me want to continue to do it, even though they would be miserable. I think for me, had our pediatrician told us like, no, this is probably your only solution, I think we would have continued. But the other thing that I want to make sure that we talk about as to why it was a really big factor is we had originally gone.
This is a prime example of teething, tiring, evening babies. Yeah. We have like a Zarbee's oil that we use on their gums. Okay.
Okay, so when we had gone to do the initial assessment, they measured all 3 kids to determine if they even qualified for a helmet. And so the part that qualified Alex specifically, they measured basically from here to here and then from here to here. And she had a 21 millimeter difference at that appointment.
From one side of her head
to the other. So then we had gone back to do the actual like scan, the 3D scan that you guys saw in the video.
They measured it again.
They measured her again, and she had gone down to a 15 millimeter difference. And the only reason that she had gotten that change was because we were going to physical therapy, and because she had started rolling over and was spending all of her sleeping time and things like that on her tummy. So to me, that tells me that with no extra support aside from continuing to do the things that they did in physical therapy to make sure that their neck muscles were good and allowing them to just be babies and roll over and sleep on their tummies and things like that, they saw the improvement. So I think for us, that was a really big piece as to why we decided that we didn't want to make our babies miserable, knowing that it's possible for things to change without them.
And with JoJo, she wasn't rolling over, and she still had a positive difference when we went back for the scan. So we had pretty much agreed that once she started rolling over, her head would just get better without the helmet. So I think taking all of those factors kind of into consideration and knowing that, and then we started to actually talk to other people and our parents, and everyone kept telling us, well, you know, so-and-so's baby, their head got, you know, they didn't need helmets, and they had a pretty big flat spot. They ended up correcting itself. It took a little longer, like until they were like 1 or 2 years old, but in the end, like, you can't tell. So I think for us, it was one of those like, okay, well, now we feel justified in that we're not harming our babies. We're not choosing to take the selfish route, because I think that's what we felt was like, okay, do we be selfish and kind of take away the helmet because it's a lot of work, because they're hard. They get really fussy and they get really upset,
and they don't sleep.
And so we were a part of us were like, well, we don't want to take the selfish route for the sake of ease. We want to do it for them, but seeing them day by day, night by night, just so miserable and sad, and not like themselves. It just wasn't worth it. And I wish we would have done more research before we went to all the appointments and we got the helmets and all of that, because we can't do anything with them now. Like, we can't give them back. We've already gone through that process. So it was a big waste of money, but I think, again, at the end of the day, it just wasn't worth it for us. So as much as we wanted to take you guys down that road, because we know that there are a lot of people out there that want to know about helmets or want to know how to use them, we wanted to take you guys down that route, but we at least at the least wanted to give you guys a demonstration of how we were told to put to put the helmets on, how to clean them, how to do all of that, because we did use them for a month. So we can give you a little bit of tips there, but anything more than that we can't give you, so sorry. But so we're gonna jump into that.
Okay, so JoJo's gonna be our little demonstration dummy.
You're not a dummy. You're not a dummy.
Maybe your head grew and it don't fit no more.
I know. Okay, so
Are you gonna need me to hold her?
I'm gonna just have to sit down. So for the helmet, you can order it in any color. They usually, well, not any color, but you can order in a plethora of colors. They also have like ones that you can design, like wrapped. But we got one in white because our idea was to get decals that we can put on and take off and stuff like that. And then you can get a strap, usually in a different color as well.
Stop it.
So they go in and they cut it so where it fits the baby's head, and then on the inside of it, it's basically like, it's designed to not push, but hold the spot that's kind of bulging or that's bigger than it should be, and it leaves space for the spot that's flat, so then the baby will grow into it. Hey. So I'm gonna show you how to put it on, talk through like the cleaning and all of that. So when you put it on the baby, you literally can stretch it as far as you can.
She's freaking out because she's like, I don't want that thing.
Yeah, I know. So you open it as far as you can, put it on the baby's head. No, she's sideways because she's, there you go. And then you, I'm not gonna do it because Alex is falling asleep, but you basically Velcro it shut.
And there's a perfect example of her just completely unhappy. Not that she was much happier before, but.
So for her, it's gonna be pushing sort of here on this side, and it'll be empty here because that's the side that she needs to grow into. Okay. Okay. There you go. Sorry. I'm sorry.
It was just a demonstration, Jojo, okay? You're not wearing them
No,
again.
I'm not gonna make it work, okay? I'm not. Oh, okay.
Look it. You want to throw it away? Look it.
Here, look it. Here. You want to play with it? No, you don't want to play with it? Yeah, you do. So for cleaning, they told us we have to clean it every night. And they told us to put it like in the bath water. Okay, let's stand up. They told us to put it in the bath water that they would use. If you don't give them baths every night, you would just use water and whatever soap that they use in their bath. So you basically dip it in, get it all wet. You grab a washcloth with our soap, wash it, rinse it off. When you take it out of the bath, you spray it with rubbing alcohol on the inside, and that works basically as like sanitizer to get all of the nastiness out of it. Let it dry, and then put it back on them whenever it's time to put it back on. And that's it. That's the cleaning of it. But it has to be done daily because otherwise it gets really smelly.
And they'll get rashes and
they'll
stuff.
get rashes and stuff and all of that. So.
They were saying that most babies, they get rashes on their cheeks because with like slobber and food, it tends to kind of sit in the little side there. So to clean it really well, and then to keep an eye on their face and their head to make sure that they're not getting rashes. And then certain ones, they ask that you report it to them so that they can walk you through it. They offer like a 24/7 service that you can call and ask any questions that you have, or if you have emergencies and stuff like that. But
so the other thing that we had ordered was decals, because again, we had every intention of going through, but we had ordered some like wintry decals. So that's Jordan's.
Yeah. We bought these on Etsy.
Yes, and then there's Alex's. So basically all you do is you take them off and you stick them on the helmet however you want. They're almost like vinyl stickers, so if you can take them on, you can put them on.
They're waterproof.
Waterproof, all of that. So if you want to use them for the time that, you know, it's winter, you want to do winter ones and then change them. That's the nice thing. So the site that we ordered them on, the lady was super sweet and we wanted to do different colors.
She said, let me
for
see,
Jordan
Mom.
and for Alex, and she was super helpful and making sure that they obviously looked really good, and so it was really nice.
Checking on the colors, making sure that it was what we wanted.
So the idea was for us, the doctor wanted, or the, I don't really know what her title would be.
The helmet lady?
Yeah.
The helmet lady.
The helmet lady originally wanted to see them every 3 weeks just to kind of check on the, like to see how they're doing and stuff like that, and if they needed to carve out any of the helmet, if it's pushing too hard or anything like that, then they would do that, but we didn't get that.
So that's pretty much what happened with the helmets. Each is their own. If your kids are going through this helmet process, we wish you all the luck in the world. It just wasn't for us with all the 3 babies and just our lifestyle. It wasn't something that we were wanting to put our kids through. So
yes, so I'm sure we're gonna get a little bit of judgment and criticism, and that's okay, but you know, respect that we tried, and as much as we wanted to make it work, our kids' happiness is really what, you know, is really what we decided we wanted to have. And I mean, I know plenty of parents who have kids with helmets and they were great.
And who have gone through it.
And I mean, I have a friend who reached out to me recently about it, and I told her my experience, and I was honest with her and told her, like, I think if it was 1 baby, maybe it wouldn't be so hard, but when you have 2 babies in them and then a 3rd baby to care for, and the fact that, like, it was just really, really hard, and we decided as a family that it wasn't what we wanted, but she's doing great.
And really, like, you can't, like, her head has gotten so much better. And you could never really tell.
You see her head? You see her head?
And then Alex's head, which I think initially was the most noticeable. You can still see it. I mean, it's not gone yet, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. And she doesn't really spend any time on her back anymore. We still do the exercises from the physical therapist, and we're doing everything in our power to fix the situation without the helmet, because we know the decision we made. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you guys have any other questions, please put that in the comments and we will answer them. Sorry it took so long for us to make this video. We just kept pushing it off and off and off, but it was a conversation we wanted to have with everybody.
So one thing really quick before we end the video, we had tons of people asking us to set up a P.O. box, which we did months and months ago. We've only had one person send us anything, and it was a feeding chair. It was one of the chairs that you see out there, which was amazing. So please make sure we're not paying for a P.O. box for no reason. But if you want to, you know, send the baby something for Christmas or whatever, if you want to send Mr. something, the P.O. box information is in the description. We'll put it on the screen even for you to make it easy.
Yes.
So that you have it. But other than that, we appreciate all of your love and support. You guys are all amazing, and every comment that we see is more of a reason that we continue to do what we do. So thank you.
And hopefully soon, because in 7 days we get the keys to our house, we will do an empty house tour, and then later we will do a furnished, this is what our house usually looks like tour. But we're so excited. We've been going out there twice a week. Well, one for Candice and then one trip I take. And it's looking good.
Yeah,
right, babe?
Very exciting. I went out there literally a couple hours ago. We're so close.
So close.
1 week from Friday, so 1 week from tomorrow. Well, I guess today probably.
If you're watching this, yeah.
Depending on when we upload, the 20th is the day we're supposed to get the keys. So
yeah. So they actually put in the wrong backsplash. we went in and it was completely wrong, and so they had to redo that. So we were kind of freaking out because we were thinking that they would have to push out the date, but but they didn't. We're really close to the end, but there's still a lot of things that need to happen in the house. We were reassured that nothing was changing, but we were just really anxious to get in there, so we freak out a lot. But
Yes, we were also told we have all hands on deck, so hopefully that means
literally a bunch of people in one house is what I imagine.
Yes, me too. I want to drive out there during the day.
Just to see. It's probably one guy.
Yeah, one guy. All hands of that guy.
Sorry, Mama.
Oh,
Sorry.
no.
So sorry. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Shh, 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 shh. I'm gonna go to the next room to do the video shoutouts. And to grab Mr. grab Grayson. Alright. I need my phone. I'll see you in there. Alright, so the YouTube shout out goes to Mr. Alexander White. Thank you for being a subscriber to our channel and for being so kind with the words that you posted on our home life video. Now for the gram.
Not Grayson.
Not Grayson gram.
The
Instagram.
The Insta.
That one goes to scroll back up and down so that I don't miss all the people at the top either. Lindsay Harwood. Lindsay Harwood on Instagram. Thank you for following us. Thank you for following directions on our videos and doing what we say, and that is following us.
Children.
We have fussy babies, so until next time, thank you for being here. Subscribe, like, comment, post notification.
Bye.
Goodbye. Graham, that's not Insta.